I want you to forget everything that you've been told about attraction. It's not your abs, it's not the money, it's not the perfect pickup lines. What if I were to tell you that there's an effective way to attract a woman? And it's relatively easy, and pretty much any guy can do that. Well, that's what I'm going to break down today in this video. And it all comes down to this one thing, and it's not what you think. And right now, I'm just out for a walk with my wife on the way to the gym. And Matthew Manning here from the Great Men Are Built channel. And I help shy, introverted men in their 30s get into a dating relationship. So I want to start off with an exercise going into this video. And I'm going to break down actually what you can do. And it comes down to something very simple. It's developing your character. So I want you to consider right now an exercise. I want you to go into your city right now, go into your city or your town, wherever you are, and I want you to line up against 10 average guys. Okay, so line up, go in your mind's eye, and I want you to line up against 10 average guys. What's going to make you stand out? What's going to make you stand out? So maybe, 4 or 5 of them are going to be, in shape. Maybe 4 of them are going to have over $100,000 in their career. I'm filming this in beautiful Canada, BC. So I'm going to talk to people in America and Canada. And you line up against these guys. What's going to separate you? What's your separator, right? Or probably 4 out of 5 are in shape, So what's going to separate you against those 10 guys? What? Nothing. Exactly. Except for this one thing, which is your character. And your character is something that you can develop. Now, one of my mentors talked about a very powerful concept about character. And he shared with me the power of your character is the materialization of your connection with something higher than yourself. So whether you're a Christian, a Catholic, God, Allah, Buddha, or the universe, or if you're an atheist, the ether, or the quantum field, whatever that is, it's the materialization of your relationship with this. And this is very powerful. So what we want to do is we want to develop a strong character. Now, we're going to break down exactly how to do that in this video. So number 1 is you need to develop deep domain interest, okay? Here's the thing. The surface level in any conversation, all the guys they always want to know how to get past small talk. Well, first of all, we got to get you out of your head. That's very important. That's the first stage, really. We got to get you out of your head. We're going to make on this journey, when you're starting to learn how to attract women, you're going to make a journey from here to here. If you're really wanting to get into a long-term relationship, you're going to make this journey from up here down into here, into your heart, which is a very important journey. But once you can get past that journey, what you need to do is you need to get past the surface level. And the way that you get past the surface level is you have deep domain interest. That means you're passionate about something that you're excited about. So I'll give you an example for how it worked in my life. I love understanding the information of the power of the mind and how the mind works and how the mind can create our own reality and how our thoughts are things and how like attracts like and like thoughts attract like thoughts. And our mind is a transmitter of frequencies, vibrations, and energy, and how you think can completely alter your life. I love this stuff. I'm completely passionate about this and how you can manifest your own reality. I love lifestyle design. I'm after the good life. I really love information about health, wealth, love, and happiness. The good life is very important to me. Living your ultimate life, living your best life. Right now, it's like 7 in the morning. I'm walking to the gym. For me personally, this is what I love to do. Plus, then come here and talk to you. So when you are passionate about something, it oozes out of you. And that passion, when that comes out of you, and that interest what that starts to become is you become very attractive. So something that we see across the board with men that are successful with women is that they have a deep interest in something they're extremely passionate about, something that they can dive deep in and talk about. And what starts to happen is this. I don't know if you just noticed, but as soon as I started talking about what I was interested about, I just started lighting up. And when you start talking about a subject that you're confident in, it builds expertise and then it helps you start to build conviction. And that conviction is what starts to come out in your sub communication. So, what were we talking about here? Well, everything comes down to your behavior. All right. In attraction, specifically a man to woman communication, behavior is the main thing that needs to get conveyed out of you. Here's what I say: if you say the right thing at the wrong time, it's not going to land. You say the wrong thing at the right time, it's not going to land. Why? Because it all comes down to your behavior. So in your sub cues, your vocal variety, your cadence, your eye contact, your body language, all these types of things are so important in terms of attraction. So when you speak about something you're confident about, that starts to ooze out of you and that passion comes out of you and people can feel it, specifically women, in your behavior, which is very important. So number one, we want to develop a deep interest in something, and ideally multiple topics, right? That's just one topic that I'm super passionate about. But we talk about health right now. I get so passionate about health as well, right? Like right now I'm getting my steps in. I think walking to the gym is one of the best things you can do, and it's low cardiovascular activity, which is so perfect for fat burning, right? So, and it's a simple activity. You get outside, then at the first sunlight, right? I'm literally out here at the first sunlight. Get that sun on your eyes. It's really important. So, have multiple domains of interest, something that you're excited about, because then when you go and have a conversation with your woman, you're going out on a date with her, now you have something to talk about, something you're excited about. And so, number two, you want to create character through your experiences. All right, something that most guys have a struggle with is they only are selective to their own experience. What do I mean by that? They haven't expanded their horizons. They haven't explored their mind. They haven't explored the planet. They haven't explored different things. Some of you haven't even left your hometown, which is okay, but we want to develop character through experiences. So your experience of life, your reality, the things that you've had experiences in, they shape you and they create the version of you and help you expand. So I'll give you an example of this. When I was young, around 18, 19, I started wanting more out of life. I wanted to create a reality for myself. I wanted to see things more differently. And I was inspired by the adults that I was around. So I wanted to start traveling. So I started traveling the world. And throughout my 20s, I traveled to, I don't even know how many countries, but I traveled to quite a few countries. And this expanded my horizon and it helped me see the planet differently. So I got to go visit different people in like Mexico and in Bali and in Australia and see the world from all these different perspectives. And it helped shape me. And then when I started to interact with women, you start just talking about your experiences, which then become attractive. And it's something casual. You don't need to convey or overcompensate. You're just genuinely talking about your experiences which shape you. So we want to embrace that. We want to embrace those experiences. So, for example, if you've had hardships, which I know you're watching this, you have, embrace them. So for example, for me, okay, I always say that talking to women and learning to man to women communication is very important. And if you want to accelerate your results, you got to do it sober. You got to do it sober. Too many guys drink their confidence, and then those feelings that you're trying to avoid inside yourself have deep data. There's a lot of data in those, and if you choose and you have the courage to be brave, to be sober, to feel those feelings sober, you're going to start to learn specifically the techniques and things you need to do in order to talk to her and attract her. So, for example, I got sober at 25 and I completely became like a mute to women. I was like, it was so difficult for me to talk to women. And that's why I got into all this, because I wanted to study all of it, because I completely couldn't talk to women. And so I started going deep into this information, and then all this stuff started coming up, and I was like, what is this? And I started getting massive levels of anxiety, approach anxiety. I ran out of things to say. I got stuck in my head, all that stuff, everything that you're experiencing right now. But what's powerful is I did it sober. And by doing it sober, it really helped me understand this at a deep level. So when I would go see women, I wouldn't drink, right? And sometimes they'd be drinking. I mean, a lot of times at the beginning of all this, they would always drink. But I would share with them, look, like I came from an alcoholic family. Like my dad had basically got a drinking driving accident when I was 5 years old or 6 years old and was put into a coma, you know? But I embraced it and I didn't hide from it. And that's a power, right? There's a power when you own who you are and you own your story. And those hardships shape you. So don't be afraid of those hardships. Don't be afraid to share them. Let them not define you, let them refine you, right? So this is very powerful. Next, what we want to do ideally. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, if you're a Jew, if you're a Christian, if you're a Buddha or a Buddhist, or if you're an atheist, something that can be very powerful is developing a faith in something higher than yourself. This becomes very, very powerful. This becomes very, very, helps strengthen your character. Now, Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about there's a morning phase of our life and there's an afternoon phase of our life. You're watching this, you're in your afternoon phase of your life. Why? Because you're a man in your 30s looking to get into a long-term relationship. And if you're not there yet, then come back to this in a couple of years when you get there. But if you're in that section of your life, what starts to happen is men and women all have like 10 value sets. Okay. So when a man is in his uh, morning phase of his life, his faith or his spiritual connection is not that big of a deal. It's not even on the 10 values that he values. But in the afternoon phase of his life, spirituality goes straight to the very top. And I've noticed that in my life. I didn't have any strong faith. I didn't have any connection to something higher than myself when I was in my morning phase of my life. And so the mistake people make, men and women, is that when they move into their afternoon phase of their life, they still act like they're in their morning, but their whole value structure changes. There's a shift that happens in us, and that shift changes when we go from our morning to our afternoon. It's not like this exact age is where that shift happens, but the challenge is most people don't change their value set, even though it's happened naturally, which is very, very important. And so when you move into the afternoon phase of your life, it's very important to be consciously aware of that. Be consciously aware that you're in that. And part of that for men is that faith moves straight to the top of the list, or spiritual connection. So why is this helpful? Remember what I said at the beginning of the video here? Character is the materialization of your connection with something higher than yourself. Why is this going to help? Well, you having a, and how is this related? You're thinking, okay, Matthew, how's this related to women? When you have that, it's going to help you develop your character. It's going to help you, it helps you gain confidence because you're drawing from a cup bigger than yourself. You're opening to something higher, at higher levels. You recognize that there's a creator of some degree that designed this, a master architect, that you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And when you tap into that, you draw confidence from that, you draw energy from that, and eventually that helps you shape your character. And that character is really what a wife is looking for. She's looking for someone that has a strength of character, something to you, you know, something of more depth, something that when she can look into your eyes and she can understand you at a deeper level just by looking at you deep into your eyes, that she knows she can come closer to the creator through you. And that's kind of what's called the Holy Trinity, right? Man, woman, and God or universe or Allah or Buddha, uh, whoever the other ones are, creator, universe. This is very, very powerful. So I want you to start developing and understand that it's going to shift for you. You're in the afternoon phase of your life, so your value set is going to change. So it's very important to understand. Next, we want to start to develop some strong opinions, some strong convictions. Why? Polarization and polarity are very, very important to have in attraction. It has to be there. And if you have ever wondered why you keep ending up in the friend zone, it's because you're not polarizing, and you're not creating polarity. So what happens to men is that they pander to women to appease them and not share their true authentic self, which is what you want to do. You want to share your authentic self, but they think that if I pander to her, she's going to like me more. And here's the thing, when you pander to a woman, you're going to start ending up in the friend zone because you're not polarizing. And it's very important to polarize. You have to create polarity. So polarity is the opposite poles, right? Now, we get this misnomer, this confusion about polarity. We say, well, doesn't, you were just talking about the mind and how like attracts like doesn't like attract like? How is that possible? So doesn't a man put out a certain vibration? Wouldn't, if like attracts like, wouldn't he attract someone, another man? How does a man and a woman attract each other? Well, actually, a man's putting out a, say for example, a north pole, he's putting out a vibration to attract a south pole. And a woman is putting out a north pole, even though she's a south pole. So what happens is that polarity, that opposites are actually attracting each other. So we're actually putting out an opposite vibration, which is really important. So in order for there to be attraction, it's really important that there's polarity. There has to be polarity. So if you're afraid of getting put into the friend zone, she's going to put you there because you got to be able to have strong convictions. So what I need you to do is I need you to start creating some opinions about yourself or about the world. And it doesn't have to be a matter of fact, but what it can be is helps you start to develop conviction. And conviction is so important in terms of a relationship because women crave conviction. They love it. There's a tone in your voice that speaks to her downstairs. When you have conviction, it allows her to receive you at such a deeper level. So you don't have to always agree with what she's saying. You don't always have to think like, oh yeah, she said that, and I don't have to. You don't have to always agree with her, and she wants to feel that. She wants to feel a bit of resistance sometimes. I remember when I first started dating my wife, um, she had a lot of strong convictions, and I challenged her a lot on it, and I didn't care. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need anything from her. And she developed some strong convictions, and I challenged a lot of her reality. And by challenging that, she kind of went, and then it actually attracted her. So I want you to start developing some strong convictions. Now, what I want you to do is take some action steps. So I want you to develop some deep understanding about a subject. I want you to go deep and dive deep into something that you're super passionate about. So in the next 30 days, I want you to, if it's classical music or if it's movies, watch the top 20 movies on Rotten Tomatoes or something, whatever that is. In the next 30 days, I want you to go deep and dive deep into this and get some domain understanding or confidence. And then next, I want you to schedule a new experience. In the next 7 days, I want you to schedule a new experience. Do something that you've never done before. Allow yourself to start expanding your experiences and get outside your comfort zone. Do something that you've never done before. You'd be surprised what it can do for your confidence. So if you're wanting help with this, if you're wanting to go deeper, you want to accelerate your results, click the link below. Let's jump on a call and let's see if it's a fit to go actually deeper into these subjects so you can start applying this in your life and really start getting the life you're wanting to live. And this is very important. And we want to live a life by design. We want to live a conscious life, a life that we're creating for ourselves, a life that we want to be living. So understand this. This is very important. And have a fantastic rest of your day.